Hello, friends. I want to share today a very peculiar situation I had with this DCI 1.5 diesel engine that comes in a lot of Renaults and Dacias and I don't know, a lot of cars. Anyway, this might also be connected to other engines and other car models that use this same type of sensor. Anyway, so what happened uh, during acceleration while I was driving the car? It felt like it just suddenly lost power, lost torque, and felt just like the turbo stopped working. And that's what I initially thought, especially when the lights went off and the car started beeping. Of course, the service light came on and also the stop light came on. I don't know if your car is equipped with that, but basically means something's terribly wrong with the car. And it felt like it went down into limp mode. Uh, Initially, I thought the turbo is gone, that I'll be able to get home because the car is still running, but it was just sluggish, very sluggish. Anyway, after a certain amount of time, the power just came back. So I was like, this cannot be the turbo, because if it was truly gone, probably wouldn't work anymore at all. So then I started thinking about it, what could be wrong. I continued, reached my destination. I actually went back home with the service light and the stop light on. The car was beeping each time I would turn the ignition on, but it would still work. It would run, and it would run fairly fine. So when I got home and I basically took my diagnosis tool and looked up what the error code is. The error code was P2263, which means a performance issue with the turbo boost system. So I wasn't far off, but it didn't really sound or look like it was the turbo itself. So got me thinking there could be something else. And after some more thinking, I figured it's probably a sensor issue. Something is not reporting the correct values to the ECU, so it's getting confused. And I was right. And you won't believe it, but it's fairly simple to resolve. By the way, yes, the same issue happened again when I tried accelerating at one point, especially when the car is cold, it would just cease to function properly. The turbo would seem not to work at times, and then it would come back. I would clear the error code, but it would come back again. So I figured it's a permanent issue that I need to resolve. And in the end, it all came down to this small part here, which is the MAP, or the manifold absolute pressure sensor. On these cars, it's mostly mounted up top somewhere where it's visible. Could be mounted somewhere else, but it has to be on the manifold itself, on the intake. Since it's part of the boost system, basically, it needs to calculate or know the actual pressure coming into the turbo, which is over here. It is crucial for the correct operation and performance of the engine. So I took it off. Just be careful when plugging this thing out so you don't break any of the contacts. And this is the only screw you need to undo. Then it's a little bit wiggling left and right because there's an O-ring that's keeping it tight within this hose. And after you do that, it'll come out. And what I found was, to my surprise, there was a little bit of dirty water inside that little, it's like a small bucket down here. So the sensor has it's a small hole at the end which goes down into this like separate, almost like a siphon thingy, that's coming from the main hose, and that thing filled up at the very bottom here. You can see it. Yeah, the green line is just to line up properly. It's a good idea to have that there if you don't have it. So right here, it was not full at all, but there was a little bit, like a few drops of condensation probably in here, which caused inaccurate readings. So I cleaned that up. I also took this part off, cleaned the o-ring, because some of it got in. I also used like a little bit of tissue to wipe that off. What you can use like rubbing alcohol, something like that, to wipe things really clean. Don't use anything aggressive, especially on the o-ring. I use nothing because it seems to be something like silicone or rubber, so you don't want to damage that, and be careful with that. Then just put it back again carefully, tighten the screw, put the connector back in, clear the error code, and hopefully you fix the issue, which was like a performance issue, turbo going out while accelerating most of the time when the engine is relatively cold. I hope this helps someone at least. Take care. Bye.